Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently dealing with this small uprising in the territory we kind of stole from the French slightly, and we're also working on passing proportional taxation, which will dramatically increase our income and allow us to ironically cut taxes. So that's going to be absolutely wonderful. We do have almost 100 million in debt right now, and we're currently running a small deficit due to our arc welding. But that's certainly something that we can work on. We're also working on our electricity shortage and building a bunch of railways and tooling workshops. We must have finished the electricity buildings. Yes. Okay. So that's noted. The Communist Party wins with 40% of the vote there. That's excellent. And we can do a reform to 52 contested government. Okay. It's an improvement over 51. It's not great, but it's an improvement over 51. Unfortunately, our support for proportional taxation did drop down to 40% from like 50. So it's not great, but we did progress over into study, so that's fine. We'll proceed forward here, and keeping an eye on our GDP, it's definitely starting to go up, and up a lot. The electricity shortage is something that does need to be handled, though. So we're going to hop into here and take a quick look. We just don't have labor in a lot of places, right? So I would like to go for somewhere like West Country. Yes. We're going to build this in West Country. This is going to destroy our infrastructure there. We're going to definitely have to upgrade that. But we can bring that up there for now. And I do want to prioritize railways. We're prioritizing railways over any of the electricity generation for now. Funnily enough, though, we're actually working on all of these simultaneously. I should have looked at that, because there's no actual point in changing those around. We're still working on tooling workshops behind this. We're building a lot, no doubt about that. We have these 2 power plants still up there, but that's fine. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Plus 25 taxation capacity from central planning. Sure. We don't really care too much about that at all. So this uprising is over, right? And Bartholomew Leslie at this point can be demobilized. They just need a moment to think about it. Okay, we're not quite going to be running a surplus here, but we're very close to running a surplus. Noted. So in West Country, it's minus 11% construction efficiency. We definitely have a lot of radicalism. No doubt about that one. But that's to be expected at this point. Like, really, that's to be expected. So this is all looking good. We need to chill on the infamy. We're at 89.5. We definitely cannot afford to get more infamy at this moment. There's the Suez Canal finally done. Phenomenal. That's very good for us. Absolutely phenomenal. And actually, we're just about turning a profit. We're running a very, very slight... Wow, that progressed straight on into voting. I love it. We're running a very slight surplus now. Cool. So this is now complete. We're definitely running a small surplus. Looks like we probably shouldn't have early demobilized. I expected them to hang in there a little longer, but they did not. That's fine. It's only a very small inefficiency. So, looks like we're oscillating right now between surplus and very small deficit. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. We're going to get all these railways done. I see 3 weeks, 8 weeks, 8 weeks as the furthest out. Okay, beautiful. I love it. We also got our home affairs ranked up to level 5. That's also really good. That will help us quite a lot with our radicals and loyalists, hopefully, as our standard of living hopefully starts creeping upwards just a little bit. If we get proportional taxation passed on this round, A, I'm going to be gobsmacked. That would have been incredibly lucky. And B, I'm going to be really happy. That would be great if we managed to pull that off. If we did, we'd probably just pay off our debt for a while. We're paying 130K in interest right now. And I'd definitely like to deal with that. So that would be a pretty big... Okay, we got a debate here. Minus 10% income tax rate. Okay, that hurts a lot. but it does bring us up to 50%. Hopefully we get that passed, but how long does that last for? 30 months. Painful. Okay, so we're going to be running a big old deficit for a while here. We're going to have to be fairly careful about our economy then. Hopefully proportional taxation will pass here. Our railway in Nejd is currently 4 weeks away from finishing, and those are the final railways. So we're going to have to focus in on getting our infrastructure up, that's for sure. West Country is almost certainly going to need more. Those tooling workshops for the moment are absolutely fine. We're 420 weeks away, 425 weeks away on our construction queue fully finishing, and that's fine. To be clear, it's going to be longer than that. We've got a lot more construction planned. So 1 more week on the railways in Nejd, and then we're going to grab ourselves more railways. Proletarian revolt? Okay. So let's take a quick look here through all of this. We're going to need some additional railway. So we'll get all of these done. This will need to be 4. This will need to be like 5. I don't think that's quite right. We're going to do like 7 here, and we're going to do like... we need like a bunch in British Central India. So that'll be okay. We'll get those all queued up for now. And we do see this going on down here. So I'm going to send 2 of our smaller forces. We'll send Charles George Gordon. And let's also send... I'd like another one that's around 5, but I guess 3 will do. Hey, proportional taxation passes. Beautiful. Okay, so with proportional taxation passed, even with that 10% reduction, which is going to be here for 28 more months, we're still running a solid surplus. So that is great. Any other law work we want to do here? Well, I think we're fine on human rights, all things considered. For economy, we could consider moving to laissez-faire. I don't think that's a move right now. We're on free trade at the moment, which I think is acceptable. I would like to make our way down to public health insurance. We don't have a way to do that at this moment. We're on guaranteed liberties. Sounds good. We're pretty thoroughly liberalized at this point. Elected bureaucrats would be difficult to pass. I think we don't do that at this moment. I would love to get down to multiculturalism. We have no option for that, but that would be very helpful for us. No doubt about that. And we're on universal suffrage. So for now, I think our laws are what they are. We're going to have to wait for some decent political movements, which is a little sad, but here we are. So we've got a bunch of railways to build, no doubt about that, and a bunch of power plants. We're building all of those simultaneously, so that's absolutely great. We're 6 weeks away on the power plants, and the railways are in progress. 408 weeks on the construction queue now. I think that number is not entirely accurate then. Gold depleted in Tasmania. Yeah, that's not great. Electricity is still considered expensive, but as our power plants in the West Country come online, that should start cutting into that, in theory. Are both of these in the same place? I believe they are. Or do we just... I'd like to be able to look at this. No, they're on their way. Okay, never mind. It was weird that that just kept instantly closing, but whatever. That's fine. Wow, that is a lot of arms industries being built in our private construction queue. Okay, iron mines, glassworks, yeah. This is building 7 pages of private construction at once. That's impressive. I like it. So if we look back here, we can see that we're going to run out of money in our private construction queue, or rather our investment pool soon enough. We've also unlocked the combustion engine, which is absolutely great. And what do we want to go for next? Well, I definitely want to think about something like perhaps plastics, nitrogen fixation. Let's go for nitrogen fixation for now. I think that'll be fine. And then I do want to go through our production methods here. We should have a few of those. Tooling workshops are indicating that we need to go into state actions and reset production methods here. Cool. Hello, pause menu. Okay. So what else do we need to do here? So motor industries could go onto automobile production. Currently, we don't have a need to. Arc-welded steamships is a thing that we'll do. Public motor carriages, absolutely, we're going to do. Telephone switchboards, yeah, we don't have telephones. So that's probably not a great idea. We'll not do that one just yet. And for now, that'll be fine. Anything in here? Logging camps down to chainsaws? Actually, yes, do that. Oil rigs to combustion oil derricks? Also do that. We can also go to motorized reconnaissance if we want to get some amount of automobile demand, and that sounds good, actually. So I'm going to go into our motor industries here, and I'm going to tell the motor industry in Yorkshire to do automobile production. And we'll just keep an eye on that, and we'll see what we end up having for expenses. But for the time being, I'm content paying down our debts. This seems good. No major issues. Automobiles are considered expensive, but it will take time for our automobile production to ramp up a bit. And, of course, yeah, there's our war with communist South Africa. And, of course, we may want to consider bringing our Yorkshire motor industries straight on up to the production cap, right? So the economy of scale cap, I should say. So this would be bringing it to 55. We would want to drop that by 4. There we go. Cool. So that's underway. Yeah, the motor industries in Yorkshire will finish up relatively soon. We've got these railways going on and tooling workshops. That seems fine for the moment. Cool. So, of course, our war in South Africa is basically over. There's no problem here. I'm not going to bother demobilizing them either. There's such a small amount of them that it should be fine. We should let these motor industries finish before we continue building electric plants, I think. Or at the very least, let these railways finish. How many more tooling workshops do we have queued up here? That's several. That is several tooling workshops. Okay. Yeah, I do think we should wait on the railways finishing, but at the same time, we do still have expensive electricity, and I would like to deal with that. So, to that end, British North Cameroon, Baghdad, and Dar es Salaam. Yeah, we can definitely get going on that, but this is going to be mildly awkward. So we need 50 here. We need like 49 here. The reason it's going to be mildly awkward is because of our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is going to be an issue. So we need 49 here, and then we need 41 in British North Cameroon, and that should be all that we need for now. That will hopefully cover these costs. There we go. We'll get those underway, and that is... Are we fully working on just those? Yes, we are. Okay, so I want to work on the railways and the motor industries, I think, first. So we're going to move these guys right on up. There's a lot of motor industries, of course. Okay, we moved up a couple of power plants as well. I'm sure that's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll get those going, and the railways are, of course, going. And then we have more power plants building in the background. I just wanted to prioritize so that we have this going correctly. Specifically, the railways are the highest priority here, but the motor industries might as well be up there. It's fine. Developing a can opener for 100,000 a week for 5 years. They'll figure it out. I'm sure they can figure out how to open a can. Hopefully. The real question, of course, is, when are we going to go back to war? We're at 84. Okay, it's going to be a bit. I think that's pretty clear. It's going to be a bit. We'll pay down our debt here for a while. We're at 82.9 million now. There's nonsense going on here up in Morocco. I'm not intervening in this. Even though this is France and Austria doing shenaniganery, I'm not going to intervene in it right now. We've gotten what we're going to get, and we need to chill. We absolutely need to chill. So that is the plan for the moment. Communist South Africa finally capitulating there. Beautiful. And our motor industries are going to be done in 9 weeks, and most of these railways next week. Most. Not all, but most. So that's great. We're very pleased about that, and about the fact that we're building power plants in the back here, so that's good. Russia is actually siding against France, so hopefully Russia holds off France. That would be nice. Enacting homesteading. Is this something we want to do? We're on tenant farmers right now. We're illegitimate. Ooh, okay, that's heavily illegitimate. That's painful. Yikes. I'm not sure when that one happened. Probably when we passed proportional taxation, actually. That's probably when that happened. But it's fine. I'm not too concerned about it for now. We'll just proceed here and continue working on our infrastructure. So getting these motor industries done is, of course, going to be relatively important. We do need to get some amount of automobile production. But we don't need to have all of our motor industries working on automobile production. That's for sure. Railways and Nejd are 2 weeks away from finishing. Motor industries are 2 weeks away from finishing. So we're going to let those wrap up, and then we'll do another infrastructure pass here. 1 week in Yorkshire. And our power plants are going to be kind of filtering in periodically after that. There's a wide range of how long that's going to take. But that's fine. I feel like we don't need these government administrations here. This railway could be moved up, and this power plant, let's get rid of. There we go. Perfect. So this railway being worked on is fine. Let's hop in here and take a quick look at our infrastructure. What do we got going on? Okay, we could definitely use some work up through here. So we can get 3 here, 3 in Lancashire. In Derazor, we're going to need 4. In Yorkshire, we're going to need... Let's see, 6 would be 30, 60, 90. So 6 would be 90. 7 would put us at 105. Okay. So we would need like 10 here and 10 here. Cool. We'll get those underway right away. Getting those railways done as top priority. Keeping our market access high is, of course, vitally important. And we're going to be working on power plants in the background. And in fact, we're primarily working on power plants at this moment. Oil was discovered in Manitoba. That's cool. We are going to need oil. We're definitely starting to transition into being a less coal-based and a more oil-based economy. We could certainly think about maxing out our resources fairly soon, I feel like. Electricity is still considered expensive, but that will likely no longer be the case once we make our way through all of these power plants. I am expecting them to have a significant effect on the landscape. That said, the railways are going to be a bit. So that's all fine. I would eventually like to get all of our potential resources queued up here. We have some agriculture that we can queue up as well, which would be nice. I'd like to get through the resources in agriculture and be focused just on industry soon enough. But for now, we are, of course, primarily focused on paying off our debt. That is one of our big focuses at this moment. There's that, and there's the fact that we're going to be making a lot more money once we are no longer running these tax cuts. We're about halfway done with those, almost halfway done, and our income is going to go up markedly at that point. So we're going to be dropping taxes eventually. We could consider dropping some consumption taxes, but I really think that we drop our taxes first and then the consumption taxes. That makes far more sense to me. So that'll be fine. Our railways are being worked on. And our power plants are beginning to get to the point of finishing. So that's good. Our electricity cost should start to come down here as we start to get updates. In theory, we would like to see our power drop off. Or rather, our power cost. Our power level, you know, we want to keep that around. We've definitely seen our standard of living coming up, and it's had no effect on radicalism. Cool. So that's, you know, normal. Whatever. That's absolutely fine. So we are seeing the power cost start to drop. That's great. And we're currently about 20 weeks out from... Yeah, there's a lot of power plants that are a ways away at this point. Yeah, that's going to be quite a while before our next batch of power plants come online. We do have tooling workshops being worked on, and this, of course, means that this one location is going to have a pretty hefty infrastructure issue. Right up over here, using 205 of 143 right now. So we're going to have to work on that. We'll do that on our next infrastructure pass. We're working on West Country, British Central India right now. We do have a few being built in Derazor, but we're going to need more. We're definitely going to need more there. So our GDP is definitely skyrocketing. No doubt about that. That is a very, very good sign. But we're a ways away from getting these railways done. How are we doing on that infamy? 81.3. Okay. That's got a ways to go. That definitely has a ways to go. We're still chilling at illegitimate 22. We could bump over to here. The problem is we'd lose loyalists and gain radicals for it. Roughly 1.4 million would be the swing. I don't know that that's worthwhile, to be honest. To go to a 43 acceptable government, I don't think that that is worth it. So we're not going to do that right now. When is our next election, actually? 1 February 1900. That's a ways out. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to be unpopular for a bit. That's okay. Not the biggest of deals. Our popularity is going to get better once we start dropping our taxes. We paid off about half of our debt, and we're going to continue to work on paying off that debt. These railways are going to be finishing up fairly soon, and the power plants are not too far behind them. Our furthest power plant away is 21 weeks out. That's really not bad. So that's looking good. Price of electricity is definitely falling somewhat. Once these come online, this should have a fairly hefty effect on it. I would eventually... I want to pop back over here and minimize this. There we go. I would eventually like to increase from hydroelectric up to coal-fired plants. That would be very good for us. That would be very good indeed. We need steam turbine for that. So, I mean, that's 16 months away. Maybe we go for that over nitrogen fixation, or we just queue it. Yeah, we could do that. So, in that case, we should not further expand our power plants. At this point, we should just be like, what we've got is what we've got for the moment, and not build more. Power plants are expensive to build. There's no doubt about it, and we've built a lot of them. There's no doubt about that either. So I think that that is certainly a good concept at this point. Our railways are very close to finishing. We're going to do another infrastructure pass here in a couple of weeks once these are done. I'm also noticing our convoys being at negative right now. We have a slight convoy deficit right now. So that means that we should definitely work on ports. Now, we could certainly do these here. We have some ports in our list somewhere. I don't exactly know where. They're in there somewhere. And that's fine. I just want to get these that exist out here queued up so that we are not falling behind on our convoys. Falling behind on our convoys is indeed bad, and we're going to get these built as soon as possible. That is a high priority for us right now. So we're going to get those done. That is kind of taking over the position of the railways for the time being. The ports are not going to be super, super slow to build, right? Ports are not terrible. Against the odds, huh? What is this? That's a lot of additional radicals from discrimination. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Discrimination is one of our biggest problems right now, to be clear. That is one of our gigantic radicalism problems. Look at that. 1.63 million from discrimination. Yeah, there's a bunch from standard of living. But discrimination is a big part of it. So that is certainly something that we want to handle. Bolt-action rifles are done. Wonderful. That gives us bolt-action rifles for arms industries. And we'll just hop on down and get those going. Yeah, that's technically going to be a reduction for our arms industries right now. What was that going to... What good was driving that? What do we have here? Oil, steel, hardwood? Okay. We'll see how that ends up playing out. We'll see what gets expensive. We, of course, do need to deal with our convoy situation. That is what we're working on right now. That is our current top priority. Power plants are a secondary priority. We're just going to finish up the ones we have queued here. They're almost done. And then we'll get these tooling workshops completed. There's a number of those done. Then we're on to resource production at that point. Our industrial needs are considered met at that point, at least for the moment. Our government unacceptability is a problem, of course. Looks like Russia is just invading Austria and is not actually helping Morocco. That's par for the course. That sounds about right. Absolutely fine. We're just going to continue to get these ports finished up. This one's kind of slow. Minus 65% construction efficiency. Okay, that's yikes, but it's fine. We're spread out over so many projects that I'm not concerned about this. I'm a little concerned about our convoy balance right now. We definitely need to work on that, and that is indeed exactly what we're doing. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to have this expire, and that'll be great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.